And joining me in Studio B for his monthly visit, Sheriff Donny Youngblood. Sheriff, thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Morning,
it.
Mike.
Let's start right off with this. The city of Bakersfield examining that request to look into an ordinance regarding sanctuary cities. Your thoughts on that?
Well, let's be honest with the people that voted us in. A sanctuary city means absolutely nothing. The only thing it does is empowers people to think they have a right to resist the federal agents, and that's why we're having these events. Be honest with the people. There is no purpose in a sanctuary city other than furthering the agenda of a couple politicians who want to move up.
This was in the county back in 2017, where I believe you stepped forward and said you declared Kern County non-sanctuary status. What do you remember from that time?
Well, I remember that I had board members that were supportive in private, but not supportive in public.
Okay.
And it did not pass. But we are a non-sanctuary county where we follow ICE, the law when it comes to ICE. They want a truth form for the city. There's no purpose in a truth form. The city, the number of people they turned over to ICE is 0. Now you've had your truth form, because that's what the truth form is, just to provide data, not to provide a platform for debate, and that's what they want.
That's what you see this being?
Activists want to debate in public the progressives and want us to go down that left-leaning road, far left road, and our county is a law and order county, and as well it should be.
Now, the advocates, I think, returned to the board back in 2025 who declined it again. Can you just describe the Sheriff's Department's working relationship with federal agents and when it happens?
Well, prior to Senate Bill 54, ICE would come into the jail and they would take the criminals, people who were in custody for a crime, and deport them, and they stayed out of our communities. Senate Bill 54 came along, and I said at the time, be careful what you ask for. If they can't get the criminals out of the jail, they're going to go into their communities, and there's going to be collateral damage, and we're seeing that across this nation.
What do you tell people that are currently undergoing this when you talk about declaring a city as a sanctuary city? Doesn't this sanctuary status of the state sort of encompass all jurisdictions, or is it separate?
The sanctuary state is an acronym that people use, but the truth is we follow the law, whatever the law is. And the law happens to say we can't work with ICE except for qualifying crimes. We can't call ICE when we stop a car that has a bunch of illegals. In fact, we can't even ask someone whether they're in the country legally or not. That's our role.
And when you see people, they step to the podium and they make accusations regarding whether it's BPD officers or Kern County Sheriff's deputies, claiming that that does happen. How do you respond to that?
I call them liars, because that's what they are. Dolores Huerta stood in front of the board and said we were stopping cars and calling ICE and deporting them. This is a couple years ago, and I asked her when and where so that we could, if it was happening, I could stop it. And she said she didn't write the date and time down, and I said because it didn't happen.
Let's move on and talk about first search and rescue. Now, this is something every year we go to the mouth of the canyon and that board gets updated. And it's a very emotional time for many people that have to, whose job it is to go in and either rescue or recover type of things. We've already seen a number of fatalities and rescues so far this season, and we're not even halfway through the summer.
We rescue somebody almost every weekend. Somebody is now drowning almost every weekend. They get in the river and it looks calm, and it's not. It's not just people from LA. We had someone from Lake Isabella, someone from Bakersfield that are well aware of the dangers of the river, and they succumb to fishing, chasing their dog. But people from LA jump in the river, they mix it with alcohol, and nothing good can come from that. And we're seeing that year after year after year.
And one of the things that I always also notice is that the equipment keeps getting updated and updated. It went from the big rafts to some of the watercraft vessels that now can operate in certain areas, drones that we're seing out there. But I mean, honestly, all that technology doesn't replace a vest.
It doesn't. We have the best equipment in the world. We have the Sherp, we have which can go anywhere, water, ice. We have rescue boats, we have vests, we have all the technology. Using drones, people still drown. And we can't keep people safe. They have to take them. We're not there to drag them out of the river when they jump in. So you have to use caution, especially with children around the river. It's dangerous. If you slip on a rock, you're gone.
Does it have to be that sort of just do not get in policy? Because a lot of times when they get that, well, just make sure you're wearing an approved vest and whatnot. It's that kind of mixed message sometimes.
I would not get in the river, but we have the river, we have the lake, and it's for enjoyment, and people have to make a decision on what they want to do and the dangers that they want to expose themselves to. I'm not the water police. If you drown, we'll come get you. If we can save you, we will.
Let's talk about copper wire theft. I did a ride-along with Rural Crimes Unit. It was about 15, almost 18 years ago when I did that, and it was big then. It seems to be having a resurgence. We're seeing a lot of press releases. Is it actually resurging?
Well, if you follow the price of copper, what it's worth, that'll drive the criminals. We see upticks, and we see where it levels out and goes down. We have a couple of cases pending with recyclers for not calling. We have some cases pending in the north area where we arrested people for stealing copper, but it's not an epidemic. It just goes up and down, and we deal with it as it comes.
Back then, when we went there and visited some of these places, that the investigators with the Sheriff's Department were really pressing on the people that were buying them, because a lot of times they said, I didn't know it was stolen. Now it's been out there, and it's still happening. Are these new buyers, or are these just people who aren't really paying close attention?
It's both. There's some people that aren't paying attention, some people are criminals. And if you can make money, they're going to be there. That's what we see with the cartels. They'll shift from one drug to another, to guns. Whatever they can make money with is what they deal in.
And then also, I'd like to talk about the recent homeless sweeps. We watch the different impact units that are going around, and they're going into these encampments. And the Sheriff's Department is no stranger to this as well.
We've been working with specifically Supervisor Flores.
Okay.
In the 3rd District, cleaning up the encampments, but it's like stepping on mercury. If you clean one out, they move into the city. The city cleans one out, they move somewhere in the county. But we're not going to give up. These are people, a lot of them are in dire need of medical attention. When they get arrested, if they do, they go to the jail, they get that medical attention. They're not in great shape when they come to us.
Well, in a video that was produced by the Sheriff's Department and then put on social media showing one of the recent operations, there were a lot of arrests in those videos as well.
There's crime in every encampment, whether it be drugs or whether it be theft. They're surviving off of stealing. There's criminal activity on almost every encampment.
Talk about yourself with the DOJ. We talked about that, the investigation, the latest on that, and how it was moving forward as well. And there have been rumblings that you might be leaving early. Is that?
Well, we're all going to retire at some point. I'm going to retire. I just don't know.
Well, there are some people out there that are saying that Sheriff Youngblood might be leaving.
Well, there's a lot of people who like to retire me, but I make my own decisions, and I'm here. I've got 2.5 years left on this term. I'm not going to run again for sure, but somewhere in the next 2.5 years, maybe at the end of the 2.5 years, I don't know yet. I'm going to retire, and someone else will come along. And I've been the sheriff now almost 20 years. That's a long time. I had 30 years before that in the sheriff's office. So, you know, I hear the voices.
But you had mentioned that when you were last elected to this current term, it was 4 years.
Correct.
And then it got bumped to 6.
We ran for a 4-year term. The governor made it a 6-year term.
A 6-year term.
After the election.
So technically 6 more months and you've completed your obligation.
That's correct. You can make whatever assumption you want out of that.
All right. And then once you retire, you're retired.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not planning on doing
something else? I've got the best job in the world. Why would I give up this job and go do another job? There's nothing better than being the sheriff.
All right.
And representing the people of this great county.
Very good. Sheriff Donny Youngblood, for his monthly visit, we appreciate your time.
Certainly.
We'll be right back.